Arriving in Florida throughout childhood, we always knew we were in for beach trips, family fun, and of course theme parks. But as we landed at Orlando International in July, for the first time ever we had no plans to visit Disney, Universal, or even the Holy Land experience. Being adults with jobs, we were in full control of where we went this time around, which prompted us to put together a super list of places to go in the beautiful northern suburbs of Orlando. So I put my local guide cap on once again to explore this sprawling landscape of cookie-cutter housing and strip malls, while highlighting the absolute best of Orlando suburbs. Towards the beginning of this great adventure, we took a trip to Altamont Mall, a gorgeous expanse of shops that will leave you thrilled and entertained for over 30 minutes. This particular spot was so fantastic that we actually went a second time just a week later. For a slightly quieter experience, we also took a trip down to the local library where we did not read a single book, but instead spent nearly an hour drawing on a table, which was a gripping experience all round, although we did run out of drawing space, which is a downside. As a quick getaway from the human attractions, I can recommend going on a nature walk. We took what was a leisurely stroll through Big Tree Park before running into some of the wildlife and promptly wanting to go home. Without spoiling too much, the tree is in fact quite big, but also mostly burnt down. Returning to the urban sprawl, we visited the iconic Topgolf in Lake Mary, where we showed off our tragic golf skills and injected custard into some birthday donuts. While Topgolf may exist in the UK, this one is very different because it's next to a charming major highway. Another attraction that is actually quite nice is one of the many natural springs in the area, Wekiwa Springs, where you can find the infamous hole characterized by a mysterious current when you swim near it. Further up the spring you can also go kayaking down the river, but we didn't do that in interest of money and also not dying to deadly alligators. Wekiwa Springs was also home to yet another nature walk where we went on the hunt for the Florida black bear and saw absolutely nothing. To completely eliminate any cost, I can slightly recommend going on a walk to the store, a trip I documented in full. Okay, so we're in Orlando and we're attempting a walk to the shops. So far, so okay. I found a footpath, which is extremely rare. One issue with this path is that it does run under power lines in its entirety. It's not too bad though. It's not like I'm close enough to die. It's quite unbelievable. I've seen one other walker. Actually, there's another one up there, so that's two other walkers. Everyone just takes the cars, but it's pretty quiet if you ignore the distant soaring going on that roof. To be fair, you can forgive them for not walking in Florida because it is so humid. I would never sweat this much in Europe, and that's just a fact. And bear in mind, it's not even sunny. It's a completely overcast day, and I'm so hot. Notice these markers telling you what mile you're on for this path. I've only joined like at the back end of it. I have not walked 20 miles. If I had, I would literally be dying. And just like that, we return to the roads again. Or I watched a video at some point that said that the most dangerous highway in America is somewhere in Florida, where the most deaths from cars happen, which is fun. I don't know if I should cross now or if I should wait until the little green man, but nah, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to stand here. Okay. I had to wait ages and I think I was pressing the wrong button for about 3 minutes. But that was quite intimidating, I have to say. One guy sped past the crosswalk right in front of me and zoomed down the road, and so my journey comes to an end. I've reached the target and I've learnt a lot about the roads. Once at the store, you'll find some jewels of Floridian cuisine, most notably this box of hot and spicy chicken wings. I physically cannot stress how good these chicken wings are, but bear in mind only one person fully agrees with me. Exploring the store, you may also run into the British food section, which took me straight back home with some classic Yorkshire pudding and pancake mix. Moving on to more desperate ideas, it could possibly maybe be fun to stand next to one of the literally hundreds of lakes and watch the water move. We got quite lucky and saw a couple birds. It might also be an idea to chase a lizard around the street, but we didn't do that this time around. For our final non-theme park activity, we trekked down the I-4 to International Drive, gazing at theme parks of the past and arriving at the world's biggest McDonald's, a landmark of historical significance that was also completely packed and actually quite bad. The Philly cheesesteak I ordered was radiantly terrible, leaving me cold and afraid for the remainder of the evening. They also had pasta, but I cannot imagine what kind of horrors lie within that meal. A far reach from the legendary McDonald's that once stood here before they renovated it. Overall, don't go. And with that, my definitive list of places to go in mostly the Orlando suburbs reaches its conclusion. As I have made blitheringly clear, there are plenty of activities outside of the stinky theme park zones that kept us occupied during our stay in Orlando. From the calming Wekiwa Springs to the riveting escapades of Altamont Mall. While yes, we may have had some family parties, beach trips, intercity excursions, road trips, interstate excursions, and multiple accessible pools, there's still plenty of fun to be had with the featured attractions. But maybe book Disney World just in case.
Florida, we welcome you to the Sunshine State. They're kicking back and soaking up the rays every day in Florida.